Okay, folks, so I want to share some more information about this NASA's U.S. patents in STAR, their sun simulator patent, and I want to show some other interesting imagery of something called a Mercury arc rectifier. And now I know Dutch Sense had touched a little bit on it and showed a couple of images himself recently, but I want to show what I have shown before once again and reiterate that last night I was capturing that really bright light that's in our skies moving to the west and the northwest, and I was zooming in on it and looking at it closer and tracking it as best as I could because it moves pretty fast. But I was seeing once again like what I've seen before, and what I saw again when I was capturing Polaris last night too. I managed to get a few more minutes of Polaris recorded. And when I zoom in and then I extract the frames from it and I zoom in on the frames and I see what looks like fixed mechanical structure around some of these lights in the skies, I have to question it. And it's very interesting that when I begin to really research into some things, some of these patents and stuff that NASA has become even more curious to me. And I just want to point out a couple of things in here with this illumination system, including a virtual light source that they claim to have. The present invention was developed in connection with a sun simulator system for use with an outer space environmental test chamber. Okay, if we read a little bit more into this, we can see, okay, let me see. In a sun simulator system, it is desirable to provide means for varying the intensity of illumination over a relatively wide range without change in the spectral distribution of the illumination. Okay, they have patents for attenuators and stuff too, but anyway, it says, so that the simulator may be used to simulate not only sunlight, okay, but also earth light and moonlight, okay? In order to provide sufficient illumination to simulate sunlight over a practically large area, it is necessary to employ plural light sources, and it is desirable to control the intensity of illumination by varying the number of the light sources that are energized, thereby avoiding changes in the spectral distribution of the light output of the simulator and maintaining a relatively high degree of efficiency. It is also desirable to avoid localized field darkening effects caused by the selective extinguishment of the individual light sources, and to maintain uniformity of illumination over the entire field toward which the illuminator is directed. Directing energy. Directing the sun's energy, creating and simulating sunlight, okay? And I find it very curious when I look a little bit closer at some of their diagrams. This here in figure 1, they claim, let's see, figure 1 is a partly schematic vertical sectional view of a sun simulator according to the present invention. And they got all these little numbers up here, and if you look, you can see there's a number 12 and a number 14 there. And if we go over to this side of the description here, we can see it says, Figure 1, arranged as a sun simulator for illuminating the interior of an outer space environmental test chamber, which is number 10, which would be this here that you see, number 10. Okay, let me get that back in focus there. In which an object such as a space satellite may be placed for test purposes. The illumination system of the invention includes an array, which is number 12, of real light sources, number 14. Okay, here's your array, number 12, across here, and number 14, which is all these little dots, those are your light sources. Okay, now listen to what it says about the light sources. Okay, listen. The illumination system of the invention includes an array of real light sources, number 14, which are preferably xenon or mercury xenon high pressure arc lamps. Let me repeat that. Which are preferably xenon or mercury xenon high pressure arc lamps, folks. I see that process when I capture the stars in the skies. And now let's look at this figure here just a little bit closer too. If you look at number 14, once again, these are their light sources in their diagram. In figure 2, they claim, is a partly schematic vertical sectional view of an enlarged scale of the array of light sources included in the sun simulator. These are your light sources right there, set up like that. Lights, little lights. Okay, and then let's look at figure 3 real quick. This honeycomb looking shape thing. Okay. Figure 3, they say, is a fragmentary bottom view of the array of light sources. This is the array, the shape, the honeycomb shape, okay? And again, we're talking about xenon or mercury xenon high pressure arc lamps, okay? And I find it really curious because when I captured the stars in the sky and those lights in the sky, I swear I captured that process, that arc process. And now, you know, I had taken some welding classes at the community college level, and I learned how to weld. And I learned the process of arc welding and how all of that works, okay? So when I started capturing some of these stars and zooming in on them real close and looking at them closer, I started to have to really question exactly what they are. Are they really burning balls of gas light years away? Or are they local lights that are mechanical? Because I have captured what looks like fixed mechanical structure around some of these lights in the skies, folks. And this is an interesting article here from 2017 talking about how German scientists had tested their artificial sun. And look at the lamps. These are some of the lamps. The lights are part of an artificial sun that will be used for research purposes. All right, well, let's look at their description as well. What do they say here? And this is in Germany. The giant honeycomb-like setup of 149 spotlights, officially known as Synlight, Synlight, in Jülich, about 30 kilometers west of Cologne, uses xenon short arc lamps, normally found in cinemas, to simulate natural sunlight that's often in short supply in Germany at this time of year. So Germany is claiming they have this artificial sun that is using the same thing, these xenon short arc lamps. Okay, and now, like I said, because I'm repetitive, I have to say it again. I mean no offense to anyone when I present these theories about these lights in the sky. But folks, I don't believe they are what they say. And some of these images that I'm going to show you here are what they call a mercury arc rectifier. And I had shown these before in previous videos several years ago when I first started really zooming in on these. And I started noticing something really changing and these lights shifting in the sky back in 2018. It's going on 5 years now since I had observed and captured what looked like something striking one of Jupiter's moons. Okay, I was capturing and had in the viewfinder what was supposed to be a representation of Jupiter and 3 of its moons in my viewfinder, and it had the camera rolling recording it. And when I went to do the playback and review of it, I noticed that there was something very odd about one of the moons, and I did several videos on it showing it, and I believe it's titled Jupiter and Moon Boom or something like that. But it was from that point on that everything in the sky seemed to shift according to my camera's view, because every time I went to go focus in and zoom in on these lights in the skies, I was seeing things that were very, very odd and very peculiar and anomalous, to say the least, like spikes and different things. But when I started pulling out the individual frames and adjusting the color and looking at them and zooming in on them with the magnifier a little bit closer, I started seeing what looked like fixed mechanical structure, folks. And now I'm not saying that all those lights in the sky are fake, but I do believe a good percentage of them, like say maybe a third of them, are not what they say. They're not burning balls of gas, but fixed mechanical structure. And again, these are some more images of what they call a mercury arc rectifier. And again, I see that plasma arc process. When I watch the playback on some of these stars that I capture, I see that process. And I see what looks like piping and fixed mechanical structure, like this one here. Like this here. I mean, this is what I see when I capture some of the stars and those lights in the sky. And now this one here, I wanted to show you. Yeah, I have this here. Look at the setup on that. Do you see those three things right there? Right there. And, you know, if I look back on, like, I mean, this is just an example, of course, but look at the sun simulator from NASA's patent. And this is a real-life photo here. But, I mean, what am I supposed to do about it? How am I supposed to really, truly question these people about this stuff? Because when you have agencies like the NRO, the National Reconnaissance Office, constantly launching things up into the sky unchecked, no one's questioning it because, oh, and no, it's NOAA, right? It's the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association. They're monitoring our climate for us, right? You know, I myself personally, and this is my theory, and I mean no offense to anybody, but I think that some of these systems that they have up there drifting around us and running circles around us literally are what is directly influencing our climate right now. And it's directing energy and it's bouncing energy around in unnatural ways and creating scenarios and situations that best fit their narratives, so that they can stand there and they can say, look, see, we're right. We're right. Well, you know what? It's real easy to predict the future and the weather when you invent it. Just saying. Anyway, I definitely want to share more from this special commission on weather modification, and I have some additional information that I want to share on marine cloud brightening, as well as this character here, Gerald Epstein. In case you're not familiar with this Epstein, I would like you to be a little more familiar with this Epstein. And that's going to be coming up in another video because this one is already over 12 minutes long. So anyway, I wanted to point out some of that interesting imagery and some of this information about the sun simulator pattern. And I have several videos as well that I posted up of when I've been documenting and capturing the sun, that shows additional things going on around in the skies around the sun, including what would appear to be like a honeycomb shape reflection going on. And I'll try to find the link to those videos and put that in this description of this video so that you can see it too. But anyway, I'll try to get uploaded and share the current star footage that I had captured last night too of Polaris as well. So anyway, there's definitely more to come if I can help it, because oh man, yeah, there was another one here too. Yeah, this was pretty interesting to look at too. So I'll go into that in another video. There's just so much, folks. There's just so much to cover in such a short period of time. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you're still watching, then, well, you know, you're pretty awesome and cool. So thank you. Please stay tuned. There's definitely more to come if I can help.